Okay, sorry about that. My cat won't quit scratching on the door, and I wanted to give her just a minute. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up. This is going to be a long video. I think you're going to be okay. I mean, everybody will experience trauma and abuse in different ways. It's just easier for me to talk about it, even though it's just, it's been a couple years myself. I was one survivor to another. I think you're going to be fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't see it right now because, it seems like it's still pretty fresh in your brain, in your mind, the way that you've reacted to certain things. And that's okay. Everybody's going to react to when something is brought up differently. But I think over time, you're going to be fine. And you're going to come to the point to where he could be standing right next to you and you're just not going to even, okay?
I hope so.
Just, okay. And it doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow or anything, but it's going to happen. And you're going to be fine.
I think that's why the first girl moved away, because honestly, I think a lot of times it would be easier just to go somewhere else and start over, because it's crazy making to see the people that are won over by him. And
right. Well, don't let one person, and of course, I mean, like I said, hindsight's 20/20 now, like ruin who you are as an individual.
My sister actually said recently is when I have started acting like myself again. She pointed out that before I dated this guy, I was like I liked hardcore music, metal. I was into a lot of...
That's how we connected at school. Everybody connected through music in school.
I'm
it was ridiculous.
Back into metal now because I've got a lot of anger, but she was saying that, she was like, Casey, you never wanted kids. Before you met your abuser, you always said you don't want to have kids until the world is a place you would want to bring kids into, and you also felt like there were all these things you wanted to do, and if you were going to have kids, it would be way late in your life when you could afford it and you might adopt. And I was like, you're right, that is how I felt. And she reminded me that it wasn't until I started dating my abuser that I even considered marriage and kids at all. And she said she noticed that gradually over time I had kind of taken on all the values that he actually wanted, and I lost myself in the relationship and I forgot who I was. So going back to all the old music I used to listen to has kind of helped me remember who I was before, and it's really helped bring me back to my roots. And maybe, I have my teenage angst coming out again for different reasons this time, but it helps.
Yeah, it can. I mean, it's good to get the anger out, because I feel like in part of recovery, I feel like anger just stays longer than forgiveness and acceptance, because it's so easy to get angry at these people, like why did anybody say this, why did and it's detrimental to your recovery at this point. I mean, it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to say, you know what, you SOB, you ruined my life, you did this and you did that, but and this was something that my dad taught me too, and that I've tried to apply into my life, and I'm still learning. I'm 31 years old and I'm still trying to learn all this stuff. Is, okay, well, that was the problem. Where is your solution? And everybody will just stop dead in their tracks and say, well, I don't know. Well, that's now your problem, is where's your solution? And I try to find solutions. I mean, I'm always a forward thinker. Like, I always think ahead, like more times than I care to, and that's just how I've always been. Even as a kid, I was like, okay, this is how I want to do it. This is when I'm going to do it, and just take the steps to do it. And I think that helped part of my recovery too, is, okay, well, what am I going to do now to solve this problem? What am I going to do now to move forward? Get out of the house. Go, you got a full-time job now for the first time in probably a year and a half. You have your own money. You don't have a car. You don't have anything to really worry about. No kids, no husband, or no real mortgage or anything to worry about. So move forward is what I did. I mean, I acknowledged, yeah, that happened to me. That was the abuse. I get it. don't let it happen again. And I try to not repeat my mistakes, of course, with what we talked about earlier.
Boundaries.
Yeah,
If I had healthy boundaries, I wouldn't have had so much anger against my abuser, because I wouldn't have let him get that far. I would have left
long time ago. Yeah, see ya. Bye.
And that's kind of part of the whole, you know, I think that's why people say the whole "it takes two" thing, because no one deserves that abuse, but the bottom line is I was accepting it. Like, I didn't leave before I got trauma bonded and couldn't leave. So now I will never make that mistake again. If I ever see that red flag, or if someone spikes my spidey senses, I'm out. And I'm not going to wait around to give them the benefit of the doubt. Never again. Because I think we underestimate how powerful psychological manipulation is. We all think that if we're aware of it happening, it won't affect us, but it does. Like, psychopaths are very skilled at what they do. They
are really good at mimicking human emotion without actually feeling it. So it's like,
well, they're good at reading people. It's like
a snake.
Predator.
It's like a snake that will smile at you before it strikes.
Yeah, and they've spent their whole lives trying to figure out people well enough to manipulate them. So they're very good at figuring out what your buttons are and how to play you. And so,
is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap this up, or anything? Any final words?
Most of it. Yeah, okay. I think that's a good start to get our feet wet.
Of course. So what do you think about the makeup? Let's go ahead and move on to something a little bit happier now.
I think it fits my new music lifestyle.
Well, like I said, we stuck with the purple. In certain lighting, you're going to see how it turns purple. Probably not with this. Yes, probably not with this light. But anyway,
it kind of looks like.
Well, thank you for letting me beat your face. We actually didn't put foundation on her because she did not want that. So I mean, if you're going to be a makeup artist, please listen to your customers, because that's what she wants. She still looks pretty, though. She's got clear skin anyway, so it looks just fine. But yeah, if you know anybody that is in an abusive relationship, or they need help getting out of it, please actually help them. Don't just sit there and say, well, you brought it upon yourself, or, oh, now you want our help. Please just don't do that, because like I said in my previous video, they need you now more than ever, and it's very, very important, especially if they've been violent with that person. Get them out as quickly as you possibly can, because
don't give up.
There you go.
Every time you see abuse happening, label it for the abuse that it is, and it might take 7 times or so, but eventually that victim will get the self-worth built up enough to leave. It just might not happen right away, so don't get frustrated if they don't leave the first time you tell them that they're dating a jerk.
Some men are just going to be jerks, and there's just going to be an idiot, but if the red flags are there, and they're just waving it in front of you like that, and you choose to ignore it, I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but I'm just saying, like, help your friends if they are in situations like this. Do not leave them in that situation. Help them get out. Let them stay the night with you. Help them go change their number. Help them move. Help them go file a restraining order if it takes that much.
I would actually suggest getting as much on paper as you can, because that's the one thing I do regret. The night my abuser broke down the door, I should have filed a police report.
Should have called the cops on him.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back now, I probably should have called the cops on my abuser, but at that point, I just wanted him out of my life. I didn't want him talking to me anymore, especially after what he had just done. And of course, he hasn't reached back out to me since, so, see you later. I mean, wherever you're at, I hope you're happy with whatever you're doing. I've moved on. I've since gotten married, and this one owns a business now, so, she'll be fine. You're gonna be fine. Trust me. When it's darkest, then we'll see stars.
That's true.
You will. I know that's so cliche sometimes to say, but she's gonna be fine.
Well, and I do want to say, and I struggle articulating this because it makes me feel like I'm giving my abuser credit, but the whole experience, I wasn't actually who I am before, and it took that much pain and that much trauma for me to really see what it was about me that made me a target for a person like that. It made me realize my people-pleasing tendencies and my willingness to put my own needs aside. And now that I saw how dangerous those things about me could be, it made me reformulate. They always say rock bottom is the most solid foundation to rebuild on. So I don't like saying I'm better now because of it, but I am actually who I am now, instead of a people pleaser that can't voice her own needs because she's just worried about everyone else all the time. Now I'm actually in tune with who I am and what I want, because it had gotten to the point where I had to be. So,
well, again, you're not a survivor, you're Casey.
Thank you.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You are not a victim or a survivor. You are the birth name that was given to you, or you're Jan, for crying out loud. Please don't start calling me that. Yeah, exactly. But you are not a victim anymore. You're not a survivor anymore. You are Casey. You can be whatever you want. You want to be the president? Please go be the president. Make me your vice president. Or make me the head of security. Can you imagine me? Like, I hate you too. Click. Nuke going to Korea.
I don't know if I'm psychopathic enough to be the president.
We'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for letting me do your makeup, of course. No problem. If you ever want to do this again, please let me know. Anyway, guys, yeah, this has been a very long video, almost an hour and 30 minutes. Oh my God.
A lot to talk about.
Well, it should, exactly, we need to talk about, because I know a lot of people like to edit stuff out, but we're not going to edit stuff out. So, all right, everybody. Bye.
So you can hear it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Testing. Testing.
Kitties. Maybe I should I turn it sideways, you think?
No, what you need to do is to pull it forward so that you can't see the...
I know, but see, if I get too close, I'm not going to have room for makeup. See?
Do that, or you need to zoom in the camera.
But it's already in, like, full. Okay. Well, I gotta go back and change that. And of course, it's hard to see this now because of how you're feeling at the moment. Actually, hang on just a second. Fuck! Oh shit! I just started to press the record button. You know, screw it. This will be in the blue. Okay.